Yes, I got pregnant at 13 years old. I had my son at 14 years old, which I think is a staggering sentence no matter whose child you are. But the added complexity of my father being a prominent leader in faith, I think further intensified the sense of shame, the sense of guilt that I had to wade through for about 10 years. And I think also that was heightened by this fact that, like, though I have this family that is huge in the faith world, I never really felt like one of the good girls, one of the
Mm,
God girls, one of the church girls. And so in many ways it felt like this pregnancy just confirmed a pre-existing insecurity that for some reason I didn't fit. And so my pregnancy is when I accepted, like, okay, this is not for me. I'm going to figure life out on my own, and I'm going to let all the good church people do what good church people do, and I'm just going to figure everything else out. First thing that was going to happen was, like, I'm going to get in trouble. Like, I'm going to be grounded. Like, we didn't even have cell phones at the time. Like, oh my gosh, you're going to take the antenna out of the TV and take the phone cord out of the wall. Like, this is going to be punishment. It wasn't until I saw their reaction that I began to realize that this is bigger than just you're in trouble. This is a life altering experience that has created grief in our family. And I think that seeing their grief, seeing them struggle with what it means to have a child that's having a child, made me realize that whatever just took place here has changed my life forever. Well, I think so. I started off comparison, so I'm not like them. So let me figure out who I am like.
mm,
And so I would say, you know what? I kind of feel like I'm close to this kind of girl. So I'll be that kind of girl. And then I got with those kind of girls and, like, I don't exactly fit here. So let me go here. And I thought maybe achievement, maybe success, maybe relationships. I can be like whoever this other girl is supposed to be. And then I will try and find myself. And I think as long as I was trying to be like some other version of someone, that I never had an opportunity to figure out who I was. And so for 10 years, I was trying on, like Cinderella, trying on different shoes. Like, I was just trying, going shoe after shoe after shoe, until I said, you know what? I'm going to be barefoot. Who needs shoes? I'm a country girl from West Virginia. I'm going to be barefoot. I'm going to stand flat footed in the truth of who I am. I'm going to stand flat footed in this. Maybe it is isolation. Maybe it is loneliness. Maybe I don't fit anywhere. Maybe I just fit within myself. And from that space, I said, you know what? I've tried literally everything. I have waitressed at a strip club. I've tried these toxic relationships. I've gone to school. I worked for the government. I tried everything. I said, you know what? I'm going to try faith. I'm going to try and figure out if this God who they talk about, who loves you no matter what, like, I'm going to see if maybe possibly it works for someone like me. And I think from there, this really intimate relationship with God allowed me to encounter healing and love and restoration. And I thought that it would just be between me and God, that it would make no sense to anyone else, but it
mm.
finally made sense to me. I sat with myself. I will say those 10 years I was sitting with myself, but I was sitting with myself, punishing myself. How could you be so stupid? You made the biggest mistake. No one's ever going to want you. Sometimes we are sitting with ourselves, but how we are sitting with ourselves is why we can't heal. You can't want to heal and punish yourself at the same time. To repeat the words that other people have spoken over you that were negative, having it replay in your mind over and over again while you sit with yourself will never bring you to a place of healing. Sitting with yourself with the pursuit of compassion, with the pursuit of love and acceptance, that is when we start sitting with ourselves and experience some discomfort and some, dysregulation, because sitting with myself and trying to be compassionate requires me to stretch to love myself in a way that I don't think is possible. And as long as you don't think it's possible to sit with yourself and love yourself, every facet of who you are, it doesn't matter who you love. It doesn't matter what you achieve. Until you can really sit with yourself, none of those things are going to make you feel better either. But it is the greatest, absolute greatest gift that you can give yourself, to allow love to flood the place where. And we don't do ourselves any favors by committing to punishing ourselves over and over again for what we did, for what we allowed to happen. This is what we say, though. We say to ourselves, I'm going to keep this from happening again by constantly living with it right in front of me. And if I can live with it right in front of me, if I can beat myself up, if I can punish myself, then I will keep this from happening again. I will prepare myself for further rejection from other people if I constantly remember how unworthy I am, how little value I possess. And so, in many ways, we think this is me protecting myself by constantly keeping it in front of my face. But if we're honest, we do long for an existence where we want to believe that I am not just this one moment, but we will never be more than that one moment if we constantly replay that moment in our head. And so to invite into our atmosphere, what other moments do I want to have? What other things do I want to define me? I spent so long not wanting to be defined as a teen mom, instead of saying, I will be defined as being a teen mom, but also I'm going to be an incredible person, but also I'm going to love myself, but also I'm going to dream, and I'm going to be an author and a teen mom. I'm not trying to disconnect from who I was. I'm trying to bring all of who I am into the fullness of where I am. These things, and I thought that because I was this one thing, I had no permission to be anything else. So yeah, the truth is, yeah, I'm a teen mom. Yes, I've gone through divorce. I've got a laundry list of things that I never wanted to be that I've had to step boldly in and in it.
That maybe I could just fit within myself.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Maybe I can just embrace myself instead of seeking a sense of belonging, a sense of okayness from other people. If I could find a way to be okay with myself, then I can wrap my arms around who I am. And for me, I had to sit with myself until I no longer cringed. I had to sit with myself until I no longer felt shame. I had to sit with myself until I could experience compassion where I once felt guilt. And from that place of compassion, I learned to love who I am. And like, yes, this is my story. And no, it may not be perfect.